Okay, just a quick review of how we use our calculators to find correlation and regression lines. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my data in. So I'm going to hit the Stat button, which will take me to this screen, and then Edit. So anytime you want to put data in the calculator, we're going to hit Stat and then Edit, and so it'll bring me to this. So in this case, I just have some random data that is already kind of in my calculator. So these are the X or the independent variable, and these are the Y's or the dependent variable. So no matter if they're in columns or rows on your paper, you want to put everything that's the X variable or the independent in the first column, and everything that is the Y or the independent or the dependent in the second column. So your goal is to start by getting two columns of data. So once you have that, we can run our regression to find our correlation and our regression line and everything we need. So there are lots of ways to do this. The way that was on your lab, and probably the easiest way, is to use what's called a linear regression t-test. So I'm going to quit out of here. I'm going to hit second and mode, which is the button right next to it. And then I'm going to run my linear regression t-test. So I'm going to hit stat. I'm going to put my arrow to the right 2 times, which takes me to tests. And then I'm going to go down to linear regression t-test, which is way down here at letter F. Your calculator might have slightly different letters or numbers. Mine is under F. So when I hit enter, it's going to ask me a couple questions. It's going to ask me what 2 lists were my data in. And so it's in list 1 and list 2, of course. Everything else you can pretty much ignore. Ignore the frequency, ignore this beta in row, ignore the regression equation. Just come down and hit calculate. If you have an older version of the calculator, it might not show you all this, but you should come down and have something that says calculate. Now when I do, it gives me a bunch of stuff, a lot of what I don't need. If I scroll down, there's my R and my R squared. So my R is negative 0.04. So really, really bad, because a correlation near 0 means almost no relationship. There's my R squared, which is 0.002. Which is, again, the percent of variation in the response variable that can be explained by our explanatory variable. But there's our R and R squared. And then our regression line really deals with this A and B. So if you notice, it says Y equals A plus BX. Well, our A is 10.62, and our B is negative 0.0038. So in this, the A is the 10.62 number, and then the B is the negative 0.0038 number. So if I wanted to write my regression equation, it would simply just be, I'll clear this out of here. I wouldn't type it in the calculator, but just because I don't have anything to write on, it'd be 10.62, because that's the A, plus negative 0.0038, and then X. So this is what my regression equation would look like. Y equals 10.62 plus negative or just minus 0.0038x. And then, of course, you could plug numbers in and everything else. So you have your R squared, and then this equation you get from the calculator.